I keep saying it, and I'ma say it again. Sonic Prime is looking to be better than Sonic X. Heck, I already think it's better than Sonic X. I was there a long time ago, I'm just waiting for everybody else to jump on the train with me. Like, this season had better fights. That first episode with the Sonic and Shadow fight, that was insane. And then it had a lot more character conflict, a lot more character drama, betrayal, and the stakes are high. Do not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and just a heads up, I'm going to be covering the spoilers. Starting now. You have a new super form for Sonic? You know what? I was kind of expecting that. Because, you know, you got a whole different power, the Prism Shards, and they have dimensional abilities in which they got all this extra stuff. And I was thinking, maybe if you collect them all, you can do some bull crap with it, you know? But, you know, you never know. You have the Prism Titan, which is... That moment was crazy. There are so many crazy things in this season. First of all, you get an alternate universe Metal Sonic, and it's a version of Metal Sonic that just basically, he just talks trash.
And down goes Sonic! He can taste his impending defeat, which I'm guessing tastes like cock.
I'm like, this dude is sitting here just talking the ultimate trash while beating the snot out of Sonic. Now, I gotta be honest, like, Sonic getting beat up, it happens a lot in this show. But when Metal Sonic does it, I'm like, okay, this is kinda understandable. And maybe that's just because I think of the Sonic OVA. And in that one, in that movie, he took an absolute beating, and it is what it is. I do think that Chaos Sonic was a great addition. He lasted for a very short while until he eventually died, but it was nice to have him. And also Shadow. Shadow's role in the story, I actually really do like Shadow in this story.
Want it back? Come and get it.
It's funny because I do somewhat see Shadow, at least in Sonic Prime. Like, in every other Sonic media, Sonic and Shadow, they're like equals, right? But in this regard, they're kind of like trying to show them off as equals, but in this case, I kind of look at Shadow as more of a big brother figure, which we all know that they're not brothers, but it's just, he acts like an older brother, because he's like, Sonic, don't do this. Sonic, don't do that. I'll watch over Sonic, make sure he doesn't do anything foolish. Oh, Sonic, you can't be doing things. You can't trust people too easily. These aren't your real friends, stuff like that. But he's there to help. It is really funny and refreshing to see this dynamic. I mean, there's a reason why IGN gave this a 9 out of 10, and the first season an 8 out of 10. Now, here's the thing. I love both seasons, but season 2 is definitely better than season 1. But here's the thing. Season 1 is actually really, really good, and I saw a lot of people complaining about season 1, saying, oh, it's nothing special. But here's the thing, guys. Season 1 is all set up. That is when they do their introductions. They introduce the new characters because there's multiple different versions of Amy, Knuckles, and Tails, and Rouge. They introduce how the worlds work, how the power system works, at least when it comes to the prisms. So, to all those people hating on season 1, I just want to let you know, that is how good stories are made. You have to do the setup. You can't just throw us in, do a bunch of action, don't introduce any characters properly, and just expect everything to be hunky-dory and great. No. Season 1 had to be the way it was because we had to understand things. So I respect Season 1. That's why I was talking so highly about Season 1, because I saw good writing. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do an introduction. And Season 2 is how you escalate things. And because of the way things were written, you get a good idea of how everything makes sense and clicks together. I even have my own little theory. Long story short, definitely expect a brand new form at the end of Season 3. A new Paradox Sonic form, or whatever they want to call it. Because we saw 2 different incomplete versions. The first form, which used the power of 3 shards to power up Sonic, and that's the part where he was acting all loopy. The second form, in which he was a little bit stronger and he was able to defeat the Prism Titan, the Eggman clone Prism Titan thing. In that, you could clearly see that Sonic utilized the power of 4 Prism Shards in that one scene, if you really pay attention to how things are done. But there's still the 5th Prism. There's still the 5th Prism, in which Tails is keeping in the Grim. What happens when Sonic utilizes the power of all of that? You will have the complete Paradox Prism's power at your disposal. And I think that will play a very big role in a lot of the drama that's going on. Because think about it, right? At the end of Season 2, 9 gets upset with Sonic. Because Sonic actually plans on bringing back the Paradox Prism and bringing back his world. And that makes Nine go, okay, so what do you think is gonna happen to me when that happens, huh? What did you think is gonna happen? And that's another reason why I like this series. It's not afraid to ask the hard questions, because when Sonic fixes his world back, Nine and everyone else will no longer exist. They will not be alive. Sonic will literally be taking away the lives of everybody from all those alternate universes. So you can't really blame Nine for being mad at Sonic. You can't. Because if you also think further about it, what the Chaos Council want to do is not even close to as bad as what Sonic and Shadow are trying to accomplish. The Egg Council want to take over the world. They're not necessarily trying to kill everybody, they're just trying to rule everybody. Whereas Sonic and Shadow, they'll be essentially wiping out the lives of way too many. If they do that. But that's the thing, that's where the hard questions come in. But that's also where my theory comes in. I do believe that in Season 3, we will be able to fix that issue. When Sonic harnesses the ability of the completed Paradox Prism, he may be able to create alternate universes, or be able to maintain the universes that have already been created as well as the lives with them. That is theoretically possible. I mean, come on, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. I know it sounds crazy, but it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Crazier things have happened. If you read the Archie comics, this is like a Saturday for you. But along with him harnessing the ability of the Paradox Prism, he will get a new form, a more completed form. Because if you look at his form, the first form had like weird color variations. It wasn't very colorful, but it was a little colorful. Whereas with his second form, he had more of a purplish glow to his hair, and then his gloves like glowed a lot more. But it still didn't really, it didn't feel like a complete form. Usually when Sonic gets a new form, he gets a complete makeover, right? Usually that's how it works. I mean, granted, these are different writers, but usually that's how it works. But he didn't have all of the Paradox Prism's power now, did he? If he gets the whole Paradox Prism's power, he's probably gonna get a brand new, absolutely sexy looking form. I'm just saying. I think that's possible. And along with that, he'll be able to solve the problem of Nine being able to stay in his own world or make another world. Whatever Nine wants to do by the end, Nine may have some character development. We never really know. Or he might end up being the final freaking villain, but Sonic still does something very nice for him. The possibilities are definitely here for this. But okay, theory time's over. All in all, I just want to say that this is a very good series. Yes, it seems like Sonic is going to have to go through some character development in this. Sonic is not actually this way in the games, or well, honestly, he had like Pontac and Grab for the past 10 years, so his character has been wildly inconsistent, let's be honest. But outside of that, the writers here, they've decided to go a different route and actually make Sonic a little bit more childish and having to think before he leaps into things, right? Which, from a Sonic the Hedgehog fan's perspective, it's kind of irritating to see that, because we just got Ian Flynn back in the games and he's been writing Sonic great. You know, I mean, IDW Sonic, Ian Flynn writes for him as well, so it's like, you get the true essence of his character from that. You didn't get it with Pontac and Grab. We were getting screwed in the games for a while. But with Sonic Prime, we're not necessarily getting that. We're getting a different kind of character that's a lot more childish. Honestly, he reminds me of movie Sonic, but this character is more than likely going to gain some character development. I really hope the writers stick the landing with this one, because they're doing a great job. They're doing a wonderful job. And the idea that he needs to stop running in and just rushing and doing whatever, that idea also comes back with this final scene with Nine. The writers are cooking. They are cooking. So let them cook. This show is absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to Season 3 so we can continue the greatest Sonic TV series that we've ever seen in our lives. And yes, I need you guys to agree with my opinion on this, okay? Come, join the good guys' side. It's not gonna hurt. You just have to admit that Sonic Prime is better than Sonic X. That's all you gotta do. So that's it for the review portion. Let's see what Twitter has to say about this. Shadow keeps losing that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. The F you mean you dropped it? That's what I'm saying. Like, the Joker literally dropped an entire Chaos Emerald in the void. So it's like, alright, so I guess we just not going Supersonic no more. Like, is that what you're telling me? Did you even consider what I wanted? Yep. Nah, man, like, this scene was so powerful, bro. But yeah, no, the truth is that, yeah, Sonic, I gotta be real with y'all. Sonic in this, in Sonic Prime is a little dumb. He's a little dumb. He's a little dumb, because it's like, bro, what did you expect? Like, what, like, seriously, you recreate your world back. You get everything back to normal. You get the real Tails back, right? What do you think is gonna happen in 9? What do you think is gonna happen to everybody else? How do you think they're gonna feel about that? You telling me you didn't think about that at all? I'm positive he thought about that at some point. But I think low-key, Sonic doesn't view him as real. That's what I think. Somewhat. I might be a little wrong on that one. Think, Sonic, think! Yep, love it. Love the Invincible references. Like I said, man, Sonic a little stupid. He's a little stupid. You know Shadow, like next season, you know Shadow's gonna be like hyper pissed. He's gonna be hyper pissed. Like, bro, I told you not to trust 9. This kid is more emo than me. And you trusted him? I knew 9 was gonna be an antagonist. I freaking knew it. This hurts. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of obvious. But it's a little frightening because Tails, like, okay, this is essentially evil Tails. So, I think Tails being an antagonist is worse than Eggman being an antagonist, because this kid has, like, dumb potential. Like, really just crazy potential. He has the same potential as Eggman, only a little bit worse. And that's why I'm like, he would be a phenomenal antagonist. He would be really good. Season 3 is... that's the thing about this series, guys. You cannot sleep on it. The tension, the suspense, the drama. I can't do it. And we're gonna probably have to wait like 6 months for the next one. How long did it take from the last one? The last one came out December, right? And now it's July. So, yeah, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be like 8 months, maybe 7 months or something. And yo, that's gonna hurt. The Scourge of the Great No Place Sea. Knuckles the Dread. I'm telling you guys. Okay, you know what? I found super interesting about this series. So Knuckles the Dread is basically the villain of his dimension, right? He's the villain of his dimension. But of the Boss Cage Maze dimension, the main problem you had to deal with was Amy. And in the New York City dimension, the main problem you have to deal with, and probably your biggest problem in the entire series, is Tails. So I find it interesting how each one, and to go even deeper with it. So Amy's character was shown loving the forest, right? The original Amy, right? She was like, oh, the forest is the most beautiful place on earth. And then when you go to the other dimension, to the Boss Cage Maze dimension, Amy's like the big bad there, right? Or she's like the strongest one, really. She really is the strongest one. Whereas in the No Place dimension, the big bad there, the big boss, is Knuckles. And it's funny because Knuckles spends most of his time going after a crystal, really fawning over a crystal. That is his entire character, really wanting it. He calls it his beauty. Which the real Knuckles spends most of his time protecting a Master Emerald. So the strongest version of Knuckles, or the most threatening version of Knuckles, is in the No Place Sea. It's funny how it really clicks in with their character. Like really, really hard. And don't get me started on 9 or Tails. In the New York City dimension, he's the most threatening one. And it's a dimension with all this technology that's really run by Eggman, but it's a dimension with all this technology, and that's the threatening one. You have these 3 characters that match each area in a unique way to their actual personalities to the game. I find that to be kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I legitimately love these two. Their dynamic is really adorable. Yeah, it's great because they were at first competing and stuff. The two Amy's, they met together. They started being friends. They started competing, like who could shoot down the most bots. They were just gunning them all down. And oh, dude, it was so good. And then when they saw Boss Cage Maze Amy for the first time, they were like, who the hell is that? It was like, this chick is crazy. That was awesome, man. But anyways, that's it. That's the end of Sonic Prime Season 2. That's the end of this video. Guys, please, by all means, like and subscribe. Come and join the Vagabond's journey. Like this video if you're really looking forward to Sonic Prime Season 3. And let me know what you think about the season as a whole in the comment section. I thought this season was really, really good. I think the 9 out of 10 that IGN gave this season was vastly justified. But I will see you all for Season 3 of Sonic Prime. And with all that being said, Vagabond gone.